I get it. It's fun to focus on the quarterback matchup in a game like this. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, two of the biggest stars in the league. Love it when you have star power like this.
Of the two quarterbacks I trust more, it's Joe Burrow, and it's not a question. I don't think any of us feel like it's an impossibility for Cincinnati to win this game.
At this moment, it's the next game up that's the most important.
It's the AFC North, what?
You already know division games in the NFL are the toughest to predict.
Football in this division is just like that. It's tough to win on the road. It's tough to win this division. My hat's off to you guys.
Going to be a lot of fun to watch this division down the stretch.
We're capable of it all. Y'all got to make sure we're one team, one heartbeat right now.
Divisional game at this point in the season, try to find a way to go into their place, into their territory.
Oh, they can set us up for the rest of the year. Obviously, with a chance to get back to 500.
And off we go from Baltimore on this Thursday night.
The Bengals look to even the score against their longtime rival on primetime. Welcome in to Bengals Weekly. I'm Marisa Contipelli. The claws are out as the Bengals look to avenge their Week 5 overtime loss to the Ravens, as big AFC North implications are on the line in Baltimore. So as we get you set for this Thursday night Week 10 matchup, we go behind the stripes with our international players as they share why they represent their home countries on their helmets. ESPN's Dan Graziano joins the show to preview this AFC North clash with Baltimore. And on Countdown, I'll tell you what 3 categories Trey Hendrickson leads the league in. But first, the Bengals captured that first home win of the season as Zach Taylor's squad played arguably its most complete game yet of the year. Let's relive Cincinnati's 41-24 win over the Raiders.
It is a spectacular Sunday afternoon for football in Cincinnati as the Bengals look to begin a November to remember.
This is a must-win. They have to have it. If they don't win this home game, they don't have another one till December 1st.
Cincinnati will start this game on defense. Quick snap. Burrow begins rolling right, looking into the end zone. He throws, caught on the back line. Touchdown, Chase Brown. Minshew catches against the 4-man rush. In trouble and sacked by Trey. Hendrickson with the sack back at the 35. 43 seconds left in the half. Burrow catches the shotgun snap, looks to throw, passes, caught at the 4. Yosivas extends the ball over the goal line. Touchdown! Our halftime score, Cincinnati 17 and the Las Vegas Raiders 10.
Burrow on the roll. Directing traffic, throws back across his body, and he finds Drew Sample for 6.
Man, that way, so he turned it like the perfect time.
They tried to run a jet sweep. The ball is kicked backwards. It's on the ground. Logan Wilson scoops it up. A disastrous play for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Burrow wide open. Gesicki running free, loping to the end zone for the cherry on top for Cincinnati.
Touchdown pass, number 5 for Joe Burrow to tie his career high. Snaps it back to Ryan Rico, and Evan McPherson's kick is good. That means coffin nails as Cincinnati improves to 4-5 with a 41-24 win.
The highlights are in. Now it's time to show you what that win was like from the players' perspective. So we thought we would hand the mic over to none other than Cincinnati's own. Sam Hubbard, take it away.
Bring it on! Here we go. Play with passion, man. Play for each other. Chase it out. 3, 1, 2, 3, chase. Hey, let's go. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go. Energy, energy. Let's go. Let's go, bro.
Numbers.
I'm mic'd up. Hey, I'm mic'd up today. I'm mic'd up. Let's do it, low. Energy day. 5 rounds. Fun, yes, sir. Good job. I got him good. Here we go. Huge stop. Hey, 11 halves. Let's get a big stop. Big stop. Big stop.
Floats it out there and drops it in, but it pops out. Jordan Battle helped jar it loose.
Hey, great play. Great play. Way to get that ball out. Huge. Here we go.
On the roll. Directing traffic. Throws back across his body, and he finds Drew Sample for 6.
Keep going. You're balling.
Go, 3 now. Hey, no run game. 3 now. Let's go. Takeaway. Let's go now.
Let it run.
On 3 in a fumbled exchange. The ball tipping around. Loose on the turf. Scooped up by the Bengals. It's Logan Wilson.
Let's go. Logan.
Burrow catches the shotgun snap, begins scrambling right, now reverses direction, throws into the end zone, and is caught in the back left corner by Mike Gesicki.
Hey, let's go. Way to operate. Good job. There it is. Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson adds to his sack total. That one might be shared with Sam Hubbard.
Get off, get off, get off, get off. Get off, man.
You?
Blank. Also, we're screaming at the ball, let go.
In the pile, we're talking smack. Thank God you're right there for that. Good job.
Where's the referee?
Here we go. Sam Hubbard checking in on offense.
Sam, over here.
He's been used in a goal line situation as an offensive player.
I'm right there with you, dude. I cut cross speed. I just dove at it. Big.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Big.
Quick turnaround. Big. Recover. Here you go.
Well, coming up next, we go behind the stripes with a few of our international players as they share what makes them proud of their heritage. Stay with us here on Bengals Weekly. Bengals Weekly is brought to you by Kettering Health, the official healthcare provider of the Cincinnati Bengals, and Paycor, proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. The game of football has grown tremendously in other countries as the NFL continues to make growing the sport a priority. A few of our players in Cincinnati were born outside of the United States and have had the opportunity to represent their home countries by wearing their flag on their helmets this season. We now go behind the stripes with a few of our international players.
It's very special to have this. I know it's to some people it's just a sticker, but to me it means so much more than that.
Originally from Canada, but now living out here in the US, living on my dream. Being able to represent the Canadian flag on my helmet has been pretty cool. Anytime I see it, I just think about my family, my friends.
Joseph Osai from Nigeria. I wear the flag on the back of my helmet because that's where I'm from and I'm proud of my nation.
I think I saw Josai or I know Chase too. Like I saw one of their helmets.
Muma at the beginning of the season, he goes, Osai, how did you get that on the back of your helmet? And I told him,
like I want that. I was born in Cameroon, so representing my culture is something that's always been very important to me. I try and wear clothing from my culture, from my heritage. It's important to me. It's something I'm proud about. And so when I saw that I could have a flag too, I was like, yeah, I got to do it. Yeah, honestly, I took a picture and I sent it to my parents. That very same day, I'd also worn we call it an afritoot, kind of my cultural garb. So I'd worn that walking in, the Bengals posted, my mom took a screenshot. Then I took a picture of my helmet. I was like, hey guys, the sticker's in. And it had my number, it had the flag. It was special to me. And my parents were very proud of it too.
Growing the sport, introducing it to different countries is important for the sport to grow itself. When I was growing up, it was like nothing. Everybody played hockey. Just seeing the game grow over the years. Now that I'm in NFL, I just want to continue to, motivate Canadian players to know that it's achievable. It's a different journey, it's a different process, but that dream of making it is real.
My mom and my family made it what it was. I'm glad to be here, glad for the opportunities, but I love Nigeria, I love where I was, and I'm thankful that was my path in this life.
That's what I think of when I see the Canadian flag, all those childhood memories of learning the game, number one, but also being around my family.
All right, let's just get a picture. Give me yours, yeah. And then I'll write on it at some point.
This is really cool. Yeah, my mom was very proud when I sent it. She was like, oh. My mom and my dad, I should say. So, football's such a passionate game. It's emotional. You put everything you are, who you are and what you are on the line every play. I feel like you show your personality when you play. And it wouldn't be right to play such a sport where I put everything on display if I didn't have my cultural heritage being represented with me.
Hopefully when there's a little young kid back home that sees that flag that is maybe from Canada and motivates them to chase their dreams and maybe make it to the NFL one day too.
When we return, we check in with ESPN's Dan Graziano, who details why the Bengals can take down the Ravens in Baltimore on Thursday night. Game preview is up next, here on Bengals Weekly. Bengals Weekly is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. And Alta Fiber, the official Wi-Fi and internet provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. It's round 2 against Baltimore as the Bengals clashed with their rivals in primetime on Thursday night. ESPN's Dan Graziano has been following the team closely this season, and he now joins our Dan Horde to preview this AFC North battle as he tells us why he thinks the Bengals are equipped to make a late season run.
Our guest this week is ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano. Dan, the Bengals are in Baltimore this week trying to get to 500 on Thursday night. What does this opportunity represent to you?
I think everything. I mean, and really you can loop in the 2 weeks to follow too. When you look at Baltimore and the Chargers and the Steelers, you're talking about two of the teams that are in front of you in your division and one or two of the teams that are in front of you in terms of your wild card hunt. It's all there for them. But yes, they have to draw on all the really good stuff they did in that first Baltimore game and get the bad stuff that cost them the game at the end out of their heads, because they have an opportunity to beat them. There's no doubt about it. At this point, there's no more moral victories.
The Bengals and Ravens met almost exactly 1 month ago. What must the Bengals do to knock off the Ravens on their home field on Thursday night?
These division games are like you throw the records at, like it's an old cliche, right? But you see it all the time. You see like the Houston Texans have a hard time with the Colts. Washington had a hard time putting the Giants away yesterday. Like these teams that are that familiar with each other and know how to play each other and aren't scared of each other. I think the Bengals have to find a way to slow down Derrick Henry. They did, right? He had 30 rushing yards in regulation in the first game, right? And then someone's got to sack Lamar Jackson. It's not enough just to chase him around. Like how many times in that game did he get away, right, and make a play downfield? So defensively, it's those two things. Easier said than done, no question about it. Like no one's really stopped those guys all year. But yeah, and then let Burrow do his thing. But yes, I think defensively, whatever they did against Derrick Henry for the first 60 minutes a month ago, repeat that, and then find a way to, when you get near Lamar Jackson, to actually knock him over.
The Bengals are currently 1 game out of the final playoff spot in the AFC with 8 games to go. They probably need to go 6-2 to make that happen. Do you see a team that's capable of doing that?
I do, because I see a team that has the quarterback to do it and who's done it before. I really believe in coaching staffs that have managed a team through the ups and downs of a season successfully, right? And seen it come out okay on the other end. And we know that Cincinnati's can, because we've seen it. Even last year, right? Held it together with the backup quarterback and nearly got in. So honestly, the answer to your question is yes, I believe it, but we will know for sure after the next 3 games whether they're capable of that or not. Because if you lose them all or go 1-2, you're probably done. If you win them all or go 2-1, then you're still going to be right in the thick of it.
Dan, we know you're busy. Thanks so much for the time and keep up the great work.
Thank you. My pleasure.
This fall, the Bengals have teamed up with Ohio Cat to bring the jungle to you. Every Friday during the high school football season, we will be out at a different high school football game, cheering on our local teams. Last month, Hubard and the Bengals were out at Campbell County High School as the Camels hosted the Simon Kenton Pioneers. Students and fans had the opportunity to take pictures with Hubard, show off their best school spirit, and win great prizes. Rule your school and be on the lookout for Friday night stripes, because the Bengals and Ohio Cat could be coming to your game next. Coming up next, Big Play Trey was at it again, this time wreaking havoc on the Raiders. I'll tell you what Trey Hendrickson did for the first time in his career next on Contipelli's Countdown. Welcome back to Bengals Weekly. Trey Hendrickson was named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week after he recorded 4 sacks against the Raiders, the first AFC player to reach the 4-sack mark in a game this season. It also marked the 4th time this year where Hendrickson has recorded multiple sacks in a game, as Big Play Trey isn't slowing down. Hendrickson recorded a career-high 4 sacks against the Raiders, the first Bengal with 4 or more sacks in a game since 2009. And in the process, Trey became the new league leader in sacks with 11 on the season, the most he has had through 9 games to start a season in his career. Hendrickson's 22 quarterback hits and 29 QB pressures are also league highs, as Trey posted a 95.9 PFF grade last Sunday, the highest graded single game by an edge defender this season. Well, the Cowboy wrangled in 2 fumble recoveries, the first of his career, as Logan Wilson has hit at least 9 tackles in every game this season, the most such games in the league. His 88 total tackles on the year are 3rd most in the NFL, as Wilson's 90.1 PFF grade against the run is the 4th highest among linebackers with at least 350 snaps. For the 2nd time this season, Joe Burrow threw 5 touchdowns in a game, making him the only quarterback in the league to accomplish that feat this season, and the first to do it in multiple home games since Tom Brady did it in 2021. Joey B is the only player who ranks in the top 5 in completion percentage, passing yards, passing touchdowns, and passer rating, as his 20 passing touchdowns on the season are 2nd most in the league. Well, Chase Brown hit a new career high, rushing for over 100 yards for the first time in his young career, as his 120 yards on the ground were the most by a Bengal in 2 seasons. And when Brown found the end zone in the first quarter against the Raiders, well, that marked his 5th touchdown in the last 6 games. Chase has 10 broken tackles on rushes this season. That's 8th most in the league, as he brings in an average of 4.6 rushing yards per attempt. And Mike Gesicki had a career outing in Week 9, recording his first career game with 100 or more receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, as he led the Bengals in receiving yards for a 2nd straight week. His 90.5 PFF grade against the Raiders was 3rd highest among all tight ends and served as Gesicki's single-game career high. Mike is averaging his best catch rate on the season at 83.3% and has stepped up when the Bengals needed him. In games without T. Higgins, Gesicki is averaging over 70 receiving yards and 5 receptions an outing. Contipelli's Countdown is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. To learn more, visit kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. It's now time for this week's Kettering Health Fantasy Report. Joe Burrow led all Bengals in fantasy points after posting over 29 in Week 9, making him the 7th highest overall scorer for the week. Burrow was 27 for 39 for 251 yards and 5 touchdowns, posting his highest total since Week 5. Mike Gesicki was on the receiving end of 2 of those touchdowns, as Gesicki was the highest scoring fantasy tight end for the week. Mike G posted 27 points after hauling in 5 receptions for 100 yards and 2 scores. And Chase Brown recorded a career high in rushing yards with 120 on the ground. His 5 receptions for 37 receiving yards and a touchdown vaulted him to over 26 fantasy points for the week, his highest career outing. Thanks for tuning in to Bengals Weekly. Kickoff Thursday night against the Ravens is coming up. For Dan Horde and our entire crew, I'm Marisa Contipelli. We'll see you next week. Bengals Weekly was brought to you by Paycor, proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. AltaFiber, the official Wi-Fi and internet provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. And Kettering Health, the official healthcare provider of the Cincinnati Bengals.